Hello beauties, Miranda here. What time is it? 10:42. I made a commitment a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, to doing my Facebook Lives on Thursday into the Warriors group because I basically missed it, and it's a whole thing, but I realised that I just love talking to you guys so much, and I always have so many mindset thoughts running through my mind at any one time. By mindset thoughts, I mean kind of tools and tactics, and oh, that would be good if I could do that, and oh yeah, that went really well. And I always have so many things I want to share, hi guys, that I wanted to make this a regular thing. The only thing I would say about me is that when I start up a new routine, I tends to take me a little bit of time to bed into it, hence why I'm coming to you live at 10:45, whatever it is. So yeah, I probably need to do it earlier, but at least I'm as live is over, so hopefully you guys can join me. Right, I wanted to talk to you guys about, so I had a interesting little occurrence happen to me on Saturday, and if you guys follow me on Instagram at Miranda Pierce Mindset, you might have seen me slightly exasperated with this anxious thought I was having on Saturday. But I haven't yet fed back that actually I totally won. I beat the lizard brain on Saturday, and I wanted to share with you guys because I know many of you experience anxiety regularly with your aesthetics, particularly around, well, there's multiple things it could be, particularly around obviously clinical things like waking up at 3 a.m. thinking, oh my God, was that, a white area? Did they have an occlusion? Or the one that Tim used to get all the time, and it kind of became laughable in the end because it never was the true, is that he used to think he'd done double the units. So he'd come home from a Botox, this is going about 10 years, he'd come home from a Botox injection and he'd be like, I've done double the units. And I remember at first I used to be like, oh my God, he's done double the units. And then it happened a few times and it was like, no, you have not done double the units. So those kinds of thoughts where you sit bolt upright in bed and you suddenly worry you've done it. These are the kinds of things that you guys suffer with. And my version obviously wasn't clinical on Saturday, but I want to share with you what I did to overcome it because it was a completely new thing, a new state change tactic that I've never used before, and it was super successful, and I was actually shocked by how successful it was. And I basically asked myself 2 questions, so I wanted to share that with you. Here goes. On Saturday morning, I woke up in such a good mood. 3 things were happening to me or had happened to me that just put me in such a good place. The number one thing is that recently, you guys know that I've gone into looking after marketing at Skinviva, and it's been a massive growth curve for me and incredibly stimulating as a result. So I'm in a really good place with it. And I'd done something on Friday that had a massive impact. So it's just like, yeah, loving life, feeling really impactful, etc. Also, on Saturday morning, I was looking forward to 2 massive things in the day. I was looking forward to going to like a Marvel Avengers event with the kids on Saturday in a big arena in Manchester. And then on Saturday night, I was looking forward to the Christmas do. Super excited, super happy. And as the morning wore on, I don't know whether you guys can relate to this, drop me a 3 if you can relate to this. You're feeling happy, you're loving life, maybe you've done a treatment with a client, a new treatment or something like that. You're like, yes, I'm winning. And then the anxious thought starts to come in, almost like you're self-sabotaging or something. I wondered whether I was, I don't know. And this little anxious thought was coming into my head. Now, unfortunately, I can't share it exactly with you because I can't anyway. But I can tell you generically. So I was feeling anxious about a person that has, let's say, caused me various mindset issues. This person has caused me mindset issues, but I own that. I never really kind of cracked my mindset in regards to this person. So they always caused me mindset, I always caused myself mindset issues about them. And this person popped into my mind. And the general thing that was going around my mind is, I've hurt them. They're going to think I've hurt them. So it wasn't like guilt over, I don't want to be like, I'm such a nice person. I was feeling guilty. No, I was worried that they were going to judge me. And this thought kept popping up in my brain all throughout the morning on Saturday as I went about my errands. And it got to the point late morning and I suddenly snapped and I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, I have this wonderful day ahead of me and I cannot let this ridiculous anxious thought ruin my day. And that's when I kind of hit the wall and I was like, I've got to do something about this. So I searched my kind of state change menu. You guys know that like probably the number one biggest feature of my personal development breakthrough these last 3 years has been the fact that I am able to take myself from shitty state, which I still get in, and by bad state I just mean like a bad mood basically, whether it be anxiety, whether it be like a depressive state, whether it be like an angry state or, you know, a not motivated state. I have perfected this ability, well not perfected, but I'm really, really, really good now compared with before when I was depressed at getting myself out quite quickly, usually involving physiology, but like probably the majority of the times it involves the meaning I give things. So my number one question I ask myself, which has changed my life, is what am I making it mean? It's particularly good for resentment if you go in resentment. But I didn't ask myself, what am I making it mean this time? I just hit this wall with this anxious thought. And I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I basically said to myself, are you going, like, first of all, I said, can you do anything about this? Can you do anything about this? And this person about whom I was having the anxious thought is someone from my kind of, it's hard to describe, but kind of from my past. And not majorly past, like recent past. And the feeling I was having was, they are going to judge me about something I've done in the past. And so I asked myself, can I do anything about this? And the answer came back, well, theoretically I could. I mean, I could, you know, I've still got their number. I could, you know, text them or call them or go around the house begging for forgiveness, maybe, if that, you know, is appropriate. But actually, then the question came back. So number one question was, can you do anything about this? And the number two question was, do you want to do anything about this? Are you going to do anything about this? And then the answer came back, no, it wouldn't be appropriate to start digging in the past like in this circumstance. I'm not saying that's the case for everything. But basically, what I was doing there was I was confronting the lizard brain. Because what anxiety is one thing and one thing only. It's an attempt to grasp back control. Usually about a situation where you ain't got no control. So Tim thinks he's injected double the units of Botox 10 years ago. Has he got control over that? No, it's a done deal. Like, that shit is over now. Like, you have to face the consequences. They probably aren't any consequences because you probably imagined it. But the point is, you aren't in control of that situation. Yes, you can control, you know, how you deal with it and how you deal with that complaining client if you did inject double the units. But ultimately, you aren't in control of the situation. There's nothing you can do about that clinically. And what I was able to do by asking my lizard brain asking myself these two questions, I was able to game the lizard brain and actually show it that I am in control. Because you are always in control of how you deal and react to a situation. Literally, no matter what happens in your life, you are in control of the response you give. For example, the ultimate example I can give you here is people whose children are murdered. There are examples of people who go to court, and in that moment where these days you get to look the perpetrator in the eye, don't you? And you get to kind of like say what you want to say to them. And there are people, I saw one in particular in America, where these people whose a child of theirs had been murdered, literally looked in the eye of the perpetrator and said, I forgive you. And there's a beautiful poem that I saw, which I've quoted before. Brene Brown quotes it in one of her lectures, and it's of a chap whose wife died in the Paris bombings, and he wrote essentially I think it was like a poem or like a piece in the papers the next day saying, "You will not have my hate." And in that moment, he was saying, I'm in control of what goes on up here. I'm in control. I'm not in control of the fact that my child's mother has just been murdered, but I am in control of what message and learning and emotional patterns I give to this child going forward. And I know it's a bit of a crazy juxtaposition, but on Saturday, I said to my brain, I faced up. I got my shoulder out. I'm like, all right then, Lizard. If you're so smart, trying to control this situation with all your thoughts, because that's what we do. We go close to the fire. I honestly think that one of the big reasons that human beings like to learn about serial killers or like to, back in the day when people used to watch hangings and stuff like that, I think there's some of it that's about sort of being voyeuristic. But there's another part of us, same with horror films and why we want to go on roller coasters and jump off bungee things and stuff. It's because we want to be close to the potential pain. We want to control it. And that's what anxiety is. It's your brain desperately trying to control a situation about which it cannot control. And so the way you actually get real control when you are feeling anxious is ask yourself this question. I learned this so viscerally on Saturday and I've never done it before and it really fucking worked. I said to myself, is there anything you can do about the situation? And then I said, and so theoretically there was, I suppose, and it's the same if you suddenly think you've injected double the units of Botox, maybe ring up maybe theoretically you can ring up the client and go, oh my God, I think I've injected double the Botox, units of Botox, oh my God, how's your face? You can try and control the situation, but that's not going to go down well. That's not going to be a good action. And so when I asked myself, can I do anything about this person that I think I've let down and that I think they're going to judge me or whatever? Yeah, theoretically, I could go around their house. I mean, they're still kind of in my life. But is that the right thing? Should I take any action is basically my second question. And the answer was no. No, it wouldn't be appropriate. It would cause all sorts of weirdness and digging up the past. And so are you going to do anything about it, Miranda? No. You are not going to take action. And when I realised that when I really faced the fact that I wasn't going to take action, I was able to be free. I was able to enjoy the rest of my day knowing and having looked and faced the fact that I wasn't going to take action. So my lizard brain no longer wanted to take action in the form of a thought, of an anxious repeating thought. I hope that makes sense. Honestly, I think this is going to continue to dawn on me more and more and more, and I'm going to try and use it when I have anxious thoughts in the future. Ask yourself, are you actually going to take any action? And if not, the only solution so that you don't ruin your day is to park it and continue to put your energies towards creating whatever beautiful experiences you're going to create with your day. And even if you haven't got some gorgeous, things lined up with your day like I did on Saturday, you still have the ability to craft and create your life. You have the ability to go and do a piece of marketing that's going to get someone else into your ecosystem. You have the ability to go and read your child a book. You have the ability to go and love on your colleague or spend time with your partner or call your mom. Whatever you want to do, you need to put your energies towards that instead of your energies towards trying to control things with this anxious thought. You aren't controlling anything. You are being controlled. Anxiety is about external control, like the lizard brain control, attempt at. Take back control by asking yourself those two vital questions. Can I do anything about this? Should I do anything about this? Basically. Can I do anything about this? Well, theoretically, yes. Should I do anything about this? No. No, it's not always going to be no. It will change. The answer will come back different for different situations. But most of the time, I suspect it's probably not appropriate to go jumping on the phone to that client. Oh, hi, how are you? I think I injected double the units. No. So, once you admit to yourself you're not going to do anything about it, just lay it down, sister. Surrender. Consequences will come later, and you'll deal with them then when at 14 days when when this Botox reveals itself. Lay it down and get back to crafting and constructing your beautiful business and life. Right, my loves, I hope that's been of some use. Drop me a 2 if you're watching this on a replay. But yeah, I'm going to keep monitoring this, and I'll let you know if any new distinctions come to me. All right, darlings, take care.